morning and welcome to another week with Pete. A little bit behind schedule today, so obviously I'm on my way to the office, so I thought, hey, no time like the present, better do a quick video. Today I thought we'd have a quick chat about compounded interest, and Albert Einstein was quoted in saying that compounded interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So therefore, compounded interest is the most powerful force in the world. So quite a heavy statement, but if you actually understand compounded interest, or in my case, compounded growth rate, it actually is a very powerful force, because you're looking, I suppose, at your wealth on a yearly basis, and for some people weekly and also monthly. Now, I was fortunate enough, well, I don't know fortunate, but I had a birthday last week, and each year I think about my own personal net worth and whether or not my investments have actually compounded in value, because I do analyze the compounded growth rate for a living. And luckily enough, and I can honestly say that in the last year, my assets have certainly gone up in value. Obviously, as a business, we do analyze a particular marketplace and we try to identify, I suppose, a highest performing suburbs. And one of the trends that we did look at over the last sort of couple of years, we've been analyzing quite closely, is the Newcastle marketplace. And we really did sort of see the trajectory in the last couple of years. And obviously, when you sort of understand also urban sprawl, we could sort of see that marketplace moving from the Central Coast and moving out towards Newcastle. So Mariana and I did purchase a property there about a year and a half ago that's done exceptionally well. Now, as we age, and now that I've had a birthday, I tend to say to myself, well, how has the assets performed? Have we been able to achieve a particular growth rate? Have we been able to achieve a strong yield? And more importantly, have we been able to achieve equity? Because you can't grow without cash flow, and you can't duplicate without equity. So therefore, when we sort of look at what we have been able to achieve sort of personally, I don't want lazy equity on a yearly basis. When I have a birthday, I tend to think about, all right, well, what have we achieved? Where is the equity? And how can we release that equity, use it as a deposit, and therefore duplicate that process once again? And hence why we sort of specialize in what we do when we talk about rent vesting, because a lot of people that are renting don't have the effects of compounded growth rate. So therefore, when you're sort of renting, you've got to be able to say to yourself, well, Sydney is an extremely expensive marketplace, so therefore you can't actually purchase within the Sydney marketplace, but you do need to rent to live and invest to grow, and therefore you can take advantage of the compounded growth. And each year when you have a birthday, you can say to yourself, hey, these investments have done okay, release the equity and use that process and duplicate that process. Now, a lot of people in Sydney have a lot of equity. A lot of rent-vestors that have purchased investment properties that we know of also have a lot of equity. But the reality is that's just sitting there, it's not doing anything. You don't want lazy equity. It's just sitting there, getting a big ass stomach, sitting there on the couch, doing absolutely nothing. So when you have been able to achieve the equity, convert it, use it as a deposit, and more importantly, duplicate the process. And therefore, we can be having a chat next year about the eighth wonder of the world, which is compounded interest. So thank you, Mr Einstein. Have a great day. Hustle hard. I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.